I don't know if I would classify myself as an AI expert. I do know how to spell it, but that's probably about as much as my expertise really goes to. But I am a geneticist, and have spent years in academia, tech transfer, and as an entrepreneur before joining the city as a public servant 3 years ago. And so we're going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm not going to talk to you necessarily about use cases, but about the ecosystem of innovation that's really happening here in New York and across the state. So for those who might not know, EDC is the primary economic engine of New York City. We own and operate over just about 70 million square feet, by far and away the largest in the city. And we have 4 key values, which are listed here, including strengthening business confidence in the area, building neighborhoods where people want to live, learn, work, and play. So we do projects like the High Line, cruise terminals. We own and operate the New York City ferry system, but we also, and we want to do this in a sustainable way, but we also invest in key areas to be able to diversify our economy. So really following the 2008 financial crisis, our city leadership started looking around and saying we shouldn't be putting too many eggs in the financial services basket because that really hit us pretty hard. And so we started looking at key industries where we could actually make meaningful investments to make New York City's economy more resilient to future shocks. And the 4 that bubbled to the top were life sciences, tech, green economy, and creative. And so I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the intersection, actually, of life sciences and tech in particular. And life sciences really bubbled to the top for a number of different reasons that you could probably guess yourself, including we have a lot of innovation that happens here at our globally renowned universities and academic medical centers. We have a lot of patents that are granted, both in the academic and the business world. We have a ton of talent in the area, including producing the most life science graduates, the largest healthcare system. But maybe something that many people don't know, and most relevant to this audience, is that we have over 40,000 workers with AI skill sets in the area, making us the 2nd largest tech hub in the world, just behind San Francisco, which we sometimes battle with on certain different metrics, but it's certainly growing here really rapidly. And then we also are the global financial capital of the world. And so because of these reasons, because we want to diversify our economy, the mayor's office created an investment to be able to start the LifeSci NYC initiative with just over $1 billion that we have available to us. And our mission with that money is to really make New York City a global destination for the life sciences. And most recently, in fact, as soon as just last year, we actually updated our mission statement to really focus in on the intersection of tech and life sciences. We recognize the massive value that tech industry has. It's very well established here, and so we want to leverage that capability to be able to feed into life sciences, break down the silos, make sure that these 2 talent pools are mingling and sharing their knowledge skill sets. And one of the big reasons that we want to do this, and that AI is such a huge opportunity in New York City in particular, is because of our diverse patient population and large healthcare system. The FDA in 2020 updated their recommendations and a new guidance that said that clinical trials need to start actually prioritizing diversity, and we have a remarkably diverse patient population here. Not only that, but if you're thinking about training AI models on patient data sets, having a diverse patient population is going to be really foundational to make sure that it doesn't have biases or hallucinations. So we think that we are set up very well for it. If you break down that $1 billion that I just mentioned, we have about $600 million to be able to construct space. That was one of our big issues to start with. We would spin out companies all the time, but they had nowhere to go. We are creating that space for them here. We also are funding translational R&D through facilities and equipment, and have over $20 million for workforce, business development, and direct investment into companies. So we can act as a VC, as a fund of funds. So if you are a startup, be sure to reach out to learn more. And these are some examples of how we're actually deploying that funding. If you ask the average person around the United States, when you think of New York City, what do you think of? They're probably going to tell you finance, advertising, fashion, things like that. STEM would probably be very, very low on the list, if it's even on the list at all. But we at EDC, we make data-driven decisions. And so we look hard at the data, and we published many reports. I'd encourage you to go and look if you're interested at all. I have the bit.ly links up there, but STEM is actually about to eclipse the number of jobs on Wall Street and in the financial services here in New York City, which is pretty amazing. And if you look at some of the other factors that I've listed here, technology within STEM is actually one of those areas that is really making inroads, including like 63,000 jobs since 2011 in the tech industry. But also in the life sciences, we've been making great headway since the start of the Life Science Initiative in 2016, where now the metro area has more jobs, companies, and talent than any other metro area in the United States, including Boston, San Francisco, and LA. Speaking directly to the intersection of AI and life sciences, many in this room probably know that venture capital for life science companies has taken a rather big hit since late 21, early 22. But AI in life sciences is actually one of those very bright areas. And we are on track in 2024 to actually double the amount of funding for AI life sciences companies here in the New York area. And I've heard a lot of speakers here today talk about hype and whether this is overhyped. You know, you slap just AI on anything and you're going to be able to get venture capital money. And I might opine that hype is actually somewhat necessary to be able to really take advantage of some of these new tools. You need like this additional capital, throw, you know, spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And we are taking risks in that, but I think that these are going to be wise investments that will eventually pay out. And so we're really excited to see this level of investment. Some of them are driven by large investments, including, you know, I have a number of them on the right-hand side here, like Formation Bio, that just captured nearly $400 million in a Series D, 142 in a seed series, but also in the nonprofit sector. So New York City was recently awarded the third CZI or Chan Zuckerberg Initiative BioHub. They are investigating the immune system and using AI tools to be able to create new diagnostics and new therapeutics. Deerfield Cure Lab of the Future is using automation, robotics, and AI to be able to speed up drug discovery. And our academic partner institutions are partnering with big pharma to be able to really advance a lot of the clinical trials and drug innovation pipeline. We are doing these investments and we are seeing clusters starting to form across New York City. I mentioned earlier that you probably wouldn't, you know, hear life sciences or STEM being one of the top things that you think of when you think of New York City, but there's a lot of activity that's coming through here. I show this map, and I'm sorry for like the small font, but it just shows you not even all of it, just a fraction of some of the activity that's actually happening here in New York City. And I'm also very proud to say that of the green and blue dots, which are commercial or, you know, incubators, we've had our hand in about 80% of those dots on the screen, whether it's direct investment or marketing. So we are certainly here to help these initiatives. Within the clusters, Kips Bay seems to be one of the top ones, and it's probably not that surprising because it is just adjacent to Flatiron District, which is considered Silicon Alley for New York City. It's where a lot of the activity for AI and tech is actually happening. And so we see Kips Bay as being like the hub or equivalent to like a Kendall Square, Mission Bay area for New York City. I don't want to diminish the other clusters because they are incredibly important as well. But certainly a lot of activity is happening there with Alexandria, NYU Langone, Bellevue Hospital, which is America's oldest hospital, the VA, Deerfield Cure Building, but also we are capturing some of this as well. One of our big initiatives is to stand up the Science Park and Research Campus at Kips Bay, or SPARC. It's not every day that 5 acres of land becomes available in Midtown Manhattan. And so we are investing nearly $2 billion of both city and state money to be able to create a first of its kind, next generation hub for academia, life sciences, and healthcare. We have 6 institutions that are going to be part of this, but also commercial is going to be a huge part as well, with a focus on the intersection of AI and life sciences. So stay tuned. This is going to be just south of like Bellevue on the old Brookdale campus, and we are very excited about it as we continue to move forward with this process. And then lastly, for any startups or venture capital in the room, people who are interested in what New York City has to offer, I want to highlight some of like the incentive programs that are offered both through the city and state, including things like we can match seed or pre-seed funding. There's a lot of tax credits, which may or may not interest people here. Startup New York is an incredibly popular program that when I was an entrepreneur, I didn't have to pay state or local income taxes because I was part of Startup New York, which is a huge boon to you and your employees. One of the complaints or like the challenges that I hear from a lot of startups here in New York is they have a hard time competing with places like Google or Meta for the talent. Well, this can actually close some of that gap so that your staff receives the compensation that might be equivalent to those big names. We do have a free internship program if you are looking for people to work with or want to hire an intern. We are just on the cusp of placing our 1,000th intern, which we are very proud of. I think last report that I had last week was we are 12 away. So if you would like to hire some of these people, please reach out. Roughly half of the people who actually participate in this internship program go on to actually become full-time employees of their host company, just showing the remarkable value that these individuals have. That's incredibly diverse, with over half being women, minorities. And then also one of the new programs from the state, which is SBIR, STTR matching through the Innovation Matching Grants Program. So if you receive one of these awards, please reach out to the state to learn more about that, to be able to potentially double the amount that you received. One thing that's not on this list, but I wanted to be sure to mention for this group, is Empire AI. This is a brand new program from the state. It's a $400 million investment between the state, Simons Foundation, and other philanthropic partners, with 7 academic member institutions, including Columbia, NYU, CUNY, SUNY, and they are creating a state-of-the-art supercomputer and data storage facility in Buffalo at SUNY Buffalo campus. And they want to partner with startups, with big pharma. If you'd like to learn more, empireai.tech is the address for that. And with that, thank you for your time, and please learn more. Reach out if you have any questions.